Welcome back to The Real Story, where I'm telling you what's going on, giving you the facts, the data, the real information, and letting you make up your own mind about what's actually happening. No spin, I'm just giving you the facts. I'm going to read you a couple of headlines so you'll know what we're talking about. 2 detained in New York City shooting of off-duty Border Patrol agent. DHS says. That's from NBC News. 2 undocumented migrants in custody after off-duty Border Patrol officer shot in New York City, Nome says. That's from 6 ABC Philadelphia. Now, let me tell you what we're talking about. We're talking about Saturday night. Actually, a supervisor from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection officer was in a park in Washington Heights. He was there with a friend, just sitting on some rocks, taking it easy. Nice evening out in New York City. A lot of people do that. And a moped with 2 individuals come riding up. Now, let me just tell you, because there's some local knowledge involved here. Mopeds have been involved in a lot of crime in New York City over the last several years, particularly starting around COVID, around 2020, when a lot of migrants started getting shipped into New York City. They use it as transport in a crime. And when you see particularly 2 young men on a moped, there's just a high likelihood that it's being used in the commission of a crime. Why? Because mopeds are kind of individual transports. 2 is just loading it up pretty good, so you don't usually see 2 people on it. And when you do, it's because there's a driver and then there's a snatch and grabber on the back. Somebody drives and they spot somebody. Maybe somebody's wearing a nice necklace, or they're holding a cell phone, or they have a designer bag or something like that. So the driver swoops nearby and the person on the back does the snatch and grab, and off they go through the crowd, going against traffic, whatever, to get around. It happens in this park in Washington Heights. But what they didn't know this time is they were picking on the wrong person, because this, as I say, was a U.S. Customs and Border Protection officer, and he was armed. So they roll up on this moped, and the person on the back gets off and sneaks up behind these folks sitting on the rock. Now, I'm going to warn you, the video you're about to see was from the CCTV cameras that were put up in the park. This isn't bloody or anything, but you are going to see 2 people shoot each other here. So if you don't want to see it, this is a good time to look away. It's maybe a 30-second video. Let's roll it now, and I'm going to talk about what you're seeing. You see them rolling up, and then the individual gets off the back, and you can see him coming up slowly. He gets there, obviously, is announcing, hey, you're being robbed. Give me all your valuables. And this officer turns around and somebody's pointing a gun right at him. And he obviously feels that his life is in danger, and a shooting ensues. Now, this officer is shot in the face. The bullet goes into his cheek. It takes out several teeth and lodges in his neck. Life-threatening injury. The alleged assailant is shot in the groin and the leg, but he is able to get back on the moped and they make their escape. The suspect in this case is Miguel Francisco Mora Nunez from the Bronx. He's 21 years old. He's in the country illegally from the Dominican Republic. The alleged driver is Christian Abar Baroa, and he also has crossed into the country illegally. Sometime later, Mora Nunez presents at a hospital because he's been shot and is fearing for his life, whereupon he's identified and arrested. The next morning, the alleged driver, Abar Barrero, is arrested as well. So these 2 suspects are in custody. Now, who are these guys? Well, let's talk about Mora Nunez. He's 21 years old. He's been living in the Bronx, and he has had 4 deportation orders, according to Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem. Apparently, he crossed into the country at Yuma, Arizona in 2023, and let's see what he's been up to since he's been here. He has an extradition order back to Massachusetts with charges of kidnapping and a weapons charge. In New York State, there's a misdemeanor assault and an order of protection, meaning that he had an order to show up and did not to court, so there was a bench warrant. He is charged with assaulting a pregnant woman and also assaulting another migrant with a machete. He's wanted for a stabbing in the Bronx and armed robbery, both in the last couple of years. Obviously, this is somebody that's been in the court system, and every single time that he's been arrested for these violent crimes has been turned back out because this is a sanctuary state and a sanctuary city, and apparently can't be held because of certain bail restrictions, and they can't make his identity known to ICE because it's a sanctuary city. So they release these violent criminals back into the community, which I don't understand. Well, how about the driver? Who is this Christian Abar Baroa? He too has multiple arrests, a long rap sheet, grand larceny, reckless endangerment. So these are not good citizens. These are not migrants that have come into the country looking for the American dream, looking to make their way and contribute to society. These are violent criminals on the streets. I mean, come on. What is wrong with our system that we're turning these people loose? They get identified. We see who they are. We see the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. These are criminals, and we're turning them out. Now, Mayor Adams has made it very clear. He has said, I will cooperate with Border Czar Tom Homan. I will cooperate with getting violent criminals off the street.
Something that I talked about often, the violent migrant and asylum seekers who are bringing violence and really tarnish the reputation of those who come to this country to pursue the American dream.
If we catch them, I want them held, I want them turned over, I want them deported, I want them out of here. They don't deserve the right to be here. They came in illegally, they commit crimes, they need to be sent away. But the city council apparently doesn't see it that way. The city council has refused to change the rules and allow ICE to be notified so they can take these people out. Whether they want them to do their time in jail here or be sent back to where they came from and deal with their crimes there. But yet they're turned back out on the streets here, and it doesn't make sense. I'm spending time talking about this because this is the #1 city in America. There's almost 9 million people here. And they've been trying to find a way to work this out. This isn't about racial profiling. This isn't about whether we like immigration or whether we don't. I'm a huge fan of immigration. We need immigration. The biggest enemy of immigration is illegal immigration. If we didn't have illegal immigrants making false claims for asylum and clogging up the system, we would have room for legal immigrants. But yet, this is what's happening. We've got violent criminals being caught into the system and being turned back out instead of notifying ICE so they can take control of them and get them out of this country. This did not have to happen. This supervisor, U.S. Customs Border Protection officer, didn't need to be shot in the face, didn't need to be shot in the forearm, didn't need to be laying in the hospital right now, hoping that he can be put back together. That didn't have to happen because the shooter didn't have to be here. And I don't know about you, but this just does not make common sense. We need to get back to common sense. This isn't about anything other than getting violent criminals off the street. That's what Mayor Eric Adams wants. That's what the NYPD wants. I don't know why it isn't what the city council wants. That's the real story. That's what happened. And if that doesn't upset you, I would like to hear why. I would like to know why you think these violent criminals should not be detained, should not be turned over for deportation from our country, when this is the way they behave once they're here. I'll see you next time. Wherever you're getting The Real Story, make sure you subscribe and follow. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, Dr. Phil here. Your savings are at risk. With the economy on shaky ground, the dollar losing value, and a $2 trillion deficit, things could spiral. Don't wait for the worst. Take control of your financial future now. I trust Preserve Gold to safeguard my accounts, and I urge you to do the same. They're the only precious metals company I recommend. What are you going to do to protect what's yours? Claim your special offer and learn how to reinforce your financial future. Visit drphilgold.com to get your free precious metals guide from Preserve Gold. With gold prices recently breaking records and analysts predicting this trend to continue through 2025, you cannot afford to wait. As a bonus, you can get up to $15,000 with a qualified purchase from Preserve Gold. So don't wait. Visit drphilgold.com today.